decision reportedly to, let's see where everybody went out the back way. You know what? I'll hit the freeway. They made the decision to stick Saquon Barkley, right? So he won't, they made the decision to sit Saquon Barkley, not to go after Eric Dickerson record. I think he might be 105, 110 yards off. I kind of disagree with it. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, you probably won't see Jalen Hurts neither. So I want to talk about Jalen for 1 second. Jalen will miss the next 3. He'd have missed 3 games going into the playoffs. I don't think that's good. You want to be hitting a rhythm in the playoffs. And you got to understand, Jalen Hurts wasn't playing his hottest football. He wasn't playing his hottest football at the time. They was having issues with the Panthers and, you know what I'm saying? So, having your quarterback miss 3 straight games going into the playoffs and how tough the NFC is. So, if I had to say they finished the 2nd seed right now, that's what they locked into, because Detroit, Minnesota going to determine the 1st seed. Check out my Detroit Channel Mercy Sports Talk. Check out the NFL playlist. Hit the link tree. You can find me everywhere. Check out the Patreon. So if I had to guess, looking at it now, Washington is probably going to be the lowest seed. Then you're going to have Green Bay. Then you're going to have Minnesota, Detroit. So Minnesota, Detroit get a bye. All right? Or they'll be the highest wild card, the opposite. The loser. Tampa Bay is going to face, more than likely, depending on how Green Bay and Washington, what happened with them, they're more likely going to face a team a second or a third time again. They're going to face Green Bay a second time, because they played them in week 1 in Brazil. Or they're going to face Washington a third time. So, me personally, I feel like Jalen Hurts missing 3 games is too much rust on him. But the way he played the game, he may need the rest. But I think it's too much rust, rest. But going to Saquon, I think they should allow Saquon Barkley to go for the record. I believe they should allow Saquon Barkley to go for the record. I believe Saquon should be allowed to go for the record. Allow him to go for the record. Allow him to play. I know you won't have a bye. You talking about you won't get the rest, and let's get a rest. I think you play Saquon. This is a once in a lifetime thing for him to be able to crack 2,000, to be able to break Eric Dickerson's record. And I'm pretty sure he had somewhat of a small say-so in it, but he wants to be a team player, and thinking about his injury history, and I think they're playing the New York Giants. I just feel like, that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing where you get to go and be the all-time leading rusher. Now, you got people saying, too, that, well, he did it in 16 games. OJ did it in 14 fucking games. Eric Dickerson did it in 16, and Saquon would need 17 games to do it, but I don't have an issue with that, because Eric Dickerson, it took him 16 games to do it. It took OJ 2 less games to get to his 2,000 at 14. And obviously they're trying to erase OJ away from league history and like he didn't do it, but you can mute it, but the curse is still there. He went back to jail for stealing his own memorabilia back and all this shit. They trying to erase him. But he went for 2,000 yards in 14 games. Eric Dickerson took 16, so I'm not really trying to hear that. The record is a record. And Saquon, I think, needed like 100-something more yards to break the record. Now, somebody said, well, if the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl, which they probably the favorites to get there, at least, in the NFC, possibly. If they don't get there, it's like, and he didn't get the rushing record, all that shit was in vain. All of it was in vain. All of it was in vain. So, I really don't. I mean, I think for Philly, man, let the man rush and let him run the record up. And that's my opinion. Let him rush the record, go for the record, man. But like I said, we got the payroll that the Philadelphia Eagles got. All the guys, somehow they fit all these dudes under the payroll, and they do a great job of drafting. They see their window opening. You know, you see a team in Detroit that's beat up. You see a team in Minnesota, Sam Darnold getting playoff experience, first time in the playoffs. Do you really respect them? You got a guy like Matthew Stafford who got a young Rams team, some beat up receivers here and there. Tampa Bay seemed to have Philadelphia numbered. They're the only team in the NFC, I believe, that beat Philadelphia and the Detroit Lions. So they like their chances getting there. But I'm telling you, it's going to be dangerous for them to go into the playoffs. Jalen Hurts missing 3 straight games and possibly play a team a second or a third time. I'm telling you, that's a recipe for disaster. And you got a team like Green Bay in rhythm. You got a team like in rhythm with momentum, even though they lost to Minnesota. You got a team in in Washington who's in rhythm. Who's playing you a third time, even though they split them dangerous games. I think Jalen Hurts probably need to play against the Giants to get a rhythm going, in my opinion. When you go into there and he wasn't even on point passing and in rhythm during the season, now you put him in there and you playing a team that's got momentum going, that's gonna be tough for them. And if I'm playing the Philadelphia Eagles, one thing I'm doing is I'm stopping the Saquon at all costs. I'm stopping the run at all costs. Any and all costs, I'm stopping the run. I'm selling out. Any and all costs, I'm selling out. Any at all costs, I'm selling out. He's going to have to throw to beat me. And, I even made double A.J. Brown. And, I might double A. And I might make a Devontae Smith beat me. The tight end, Goddard beat me. But I'm making Jalen Hurts beat me with his arm. Honestly. But I think Saquon should go for the record. I think Jalen Hurts should also be playing too, for the reasons I just said. But if Saquon go out there and tear his knee up or get hurt, then it's gonna be like, oh man, why didn't y'all, do something about it? Why y'all play him? And I get it. So I play it safe. Let him rest. Him getting rest ain't no problem. He in full rhythm. That rest gonna do Saquon some good. But do you understand the momentum and the morale boost you get if Saquon Barkley break the record and you going into the playoffs and he the all-time leading rusher in league history? And then people can also say, well, CJ, your boy Barry Sanders, and I just bought a Barry Sanders throwback. It's nice too. Your boy Barry Sanders just, he walked away when he could have broke the all-time leading rusher record. I mean. But, like I said before, my humble opinion, man, I would go for it. But hey, this is my opinion, man. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole 9. Ooh. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Hit the link tree. Peace.